This learning object is a production of Abu Dhabi Men's College, Center of Excellence for ICT and Learning Technology.
High value-added manufacturing creates a range of service activities supporting the product based on a clear understanding of customer needs, and it also sustains a symbiotic cluster of wider service activities. In Singapore, the Economic Development Board has rigorously focused on manufacturing and services as mutually reinforcing activities. And Singapore is an interesting analogue, really, because that was a country with nothing as a natural resource apart from its people and its position globally. And they've calculated that every $1 of manufacturing value added generates 90 cents of increased services value added. And their policies on everything from research and education and infrastructure reflect that belief. And high value-added manufacturing also creates the demand for a wide range of skills and ensures they're regularly practiced. I don't know whether you can see this, but this is a turbine blade which goes in the hot part of an aero engine. And it illustrates the point in a practical way. It operates at about 400 degrees above its melting point, travels about 7 million miles between services. This blade, and it's apposite today because the Grand Prix was yesterday, generates the same power as a Formula One racing car. And the centrifugal force at its tip is equivalent to hanging a double-decker bus from the end of this blade. So creating components of this complexity requires relationships with research institutions and universities. It needs the skills of material scientists, metallurgists, mathematicians, aerodynamicists, combustion engineers, aerothermal engineers, stress engineers, manufacturing engineers, process engineers, procurement specialists, and logisticians, to name a few. And Dr. Kamal, I think, with his background, will understand what I'm saying. These are skills that, if practiced widely, enable real creativity and innovation to occur. And it's an interesting, if slightly self-congratulatory statistic, that pound for pound, an aero engine is 6 times more valuable than silver, whereas pound for pound, a motor car has the same value as a hamburger. But it does give a sense of the wealth-creating capability of high-technology manufacturing. And I think there are compelling arguments for including high value-added manufacturing as part of a balanced post-recession economy. There are also arguments that the UAE has already embraced. The Emirates Foundation, on whose board I'm honored to be a member, and the Torteen Career Counseling Program, in which Rolls-Royce is involved, enhance access to learning and skills for young Emiratis as a way of increasing their employment potential. And as the current economic crisis forces nations to reevaluate the way they do business, the importance of having what has been called an economic route map has, I think, become even clearer. China, India, the US, Brazil, Singapore, Germany, and the UAE are just a handful of the countries which have already recognized the need for industrial policies and a framework within to make important decisions. This isn't the same as governments picking winners, but it does require governments and industry to work much more closely together, and for governments to prioritize their investment in a way that will enable companies to define their own priorities. Research, a subject no doubt close to the heart of many in this room, is an area where changes in priority may well be beneficial in a post-recession economy. And I think lessons can be learned from those universities whose research is close to the market and relevant to industry. Those universities frequently benefit financially from this involvement, and the benefit is felt in terms of relevance, in that students feel connected with the real world. And at Rolls-Royce, we've embraced this approach by establishing 29 university technology centers worldwide, each undertaking vital, targeted research in specific set of engineering disciplines. It has the secondary benefit of allowing us to see the students at work in these research centers and to get them to see what our world is like, and they can make choices later. We can choose the best, and they can choose the best companies. Governments can also use infrastructure projects to stimulate their economies and help develop high value-added manufacturing. Certainly the development of low-carbon technologies, including civil nuclear power, can be used to promote a more balanced economy and in the process pull through a broad range of widely applicable skills. These skills will become increasingly important as global problems of energy security and climate change drive the search for alternative energy sources. And the application of these skills can also catalyze the development in many nations. In many ways, it's a classic case study encapsulating the economic benefits that high technology manufacturing can bring. The majority of jobs created in developing low-carbon solutions will require skills that are generic to high value-added manufacturing. Those would include electromechanical design and engineering, systems integration, robotics, material science, and process control. And capability in those gives lots of options for nations and people to develop in other areas. A nation's commitment to participation in the low-carbon economy will send out a strong demand signal into its schools and universities, encouraging young people to study science-based subjects. It's therefore an extraordinary opportunity to build a nation's manufacturing skills base, something that's vital to the creation of a sustainable economy. Your Excellency, Dr. Kamali, you asked me to consider the impact of the global downturn on global challenges. In summary, I believe the downturn has cast a spotlight on the importance of developing well-balanced economies, of which high-value manufacturing forms a vital component. Education policy must support economic policy and ensure that the means exist to provide the quality of workforce that can support all our aspirations to move up the value chain and to support sustainability. As we move out of recession, the global challenge we face will be to ensure that economies do not again become over-reliant on any one sector or activity, that we continue to focus on wealth creation as well as wealth distribution, and that we take advantage of scientific advances. I hope that you have an enjoyable and stimulating conference. Thank you very much for inviting me.